everyone. Welcome to Mwsstudios, where we create freedom doing what we love. And today we have a special guest, a friend, family member, basically, a newly inspired cosplayer, Ebony Walls.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy I finally got you on the show. So today we just gonna talk about the nitty-gritty, the things about being a creator, a local artist, and being in an independent space. Um, let's see. So my first question, how did you get started in the cosplay industry?
How did I get started in the cosplay industry? Well, it really all started with actually me being influenced by a content creator.
Mm,
Now, keep in mind, I never knew about content creation, things like that. I didn't even know cosplaying was a thing
hmm.
until the pandemic.
Okay. So the
And
pandemic.
yeah, the pandemic was definitely an eye opener because we couldn't go outside. We were stuck in the house all day.
Okay. So I meant to ask earlier before we got started. Where are you from?
Well, I am from Memphis, Tennessee, the 901, born and raised. Big Memphis, Memphis.
Yeah, okay. That's some Memphis 901. You know how it is. I understand that you went to Central High School.
I sure did the high school.
Oh, she said B. Okay. That's how you
The
feel.
high
That's
school.
how you feel. I, I'm actually from Carver. I actually used to go up to Central all the time. So they're basically like friends, sometimes rivals, depending on what it was. So, and it's funny that we are very close friends, even though we go to different schools and everything like that. So, but
And
we
it's
also
crazy that we went to college
we
together.
went to college too. So even though we was at different high schools, I used to go up to Central a lot, and now we ended up going to college as well, which is LLC. We are both musicians in that aspect.
Mhm. Never graduate. I didn't graduate, y'all. Just want to let y'all know I did not graduate from D. Lemoyne College, but I had a great time and a great experience there, and I would never knock a HBCU. Just want to point that out there.
That is true. That is true. But you're still a magician at heart, though. That's all that
I sure,
matters. And from
I
that
sure.
time, you had some fun. I've seen the growth. We became close friends over the years, and we both watched each other grow into the people that we are now. And we still work together to this day. So just to put a little history in there, you know, such a great person. Um, so so you got into cosplay basically by word of mouth and the effects of COVID, right?
hmm
But I did my homework. You actually got into cosplay, I want to say 3 years prior to BluesCon. And if my understanding is that I think your first cosplay was like Luffy, or it's between Luffy and Kingdom Hearts, one of your first cosplays.
Actually, yeah, you are right. My actual first cosplay was a Kingdom Hearts Organization 13 member.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Cool. I definitely did my research. Um, I know you've been sharing that stuff for a while. I think you've been doing it, what, 3 years now? No, longer.
Maybe, okay, so professionally, like when I actually got more serious about it,
Yeah.
we're gonna say at least 2 to 3 years I have been professionally cosplaying.
Okay. Because you were telling me about Anime's BlueCon beforehand. I didn't even know it existed until you brought it up to me.
Yeah, and like I had known about it for years because I had friends who were going, and this was like within like the early years of Anime Blues Con,
Yeah.
and every time my friends would bring it to my attention, I'm already stuck at work and I'm like, shoot, I missed it again. I've missed it again. I've missed it again. So I had to literally set the intention, started to get into the community of anime and cosplay to actually be able to learn about the different events that Memphis, Tennessee has surrounding the cosplay community, the anime community, and such. And it just opened my eyes because I just never knew that Memphis had this.
Yeah. Memphis got a lot of opportunities. I tell people half the time you gotta expand your mind and be open to a lot of different things. And you'd be surprised what you can get yourself into. Now, my question is to you is we go ahead get the elephant out the room here. You did your Luffy, you did your Kingdom Hearts. Let's talk about how you just jumped in and over 1,000 views with Inuyasha cosplay. So how did that start? How did that start?
Man, to this day, I'm just still in awe and shock because I had an idea.
Yeah.
I was set on the idea and I just made it come true. I brought it to life. Literally was intentional about every detail, from making sure I had the right context that actually looked naturally as close to Inuyasha's eyes and Shishomaru eyes as possible. The pretty golden glossy color to even trying to make sure that I could differentiate. I always miss this word of differentiate. I know I'm saying it wrong. Somebody gonna correct me.
Differentiate.
I wanted to set myself apart from a lot of other cosplayers, and that's where I was like, you know what? Why not? If I'm gonna do my version of Inuyasha, and this is a female version, she need to have some curls. She gotta have curls.
Right.
So that brought to my creation, my Inuyasha cosplay having white curly hair.
Okay. So do you have inspirations on doing your own cosplay, like something that you make up of your own?
I definitely do, because I have a lot of personal apparel that I can use to create a numerous amount of different characters, from vampires, fairies, goth, emo. So I have the ability to create characters.
Okay.
So I'm definitely gonna be creating a new character for next year.
Okay. Speaking of cosplay, I understand that you like vampires.
Blame, I will say this now. Blame the movies. Blame BLERD, Vampire Diaries, Queen of the Damned.
So you just infatuated with vampires.
I've been infatuated with vampires all my life.
Do you want to be a vampire?
If I can get a daylight ring, from like what BLERD had, we cool. We'd be able to be in the sunlight.
She said, I need a day pass. I need
a whole day pass.
Okay. So now that we know who you are, what you're all about, let's talk about your creative process. How can you walk us through your process on developing a cosplay costume? Like, what do you think about? Do you watch things? Are you inspired by certain things, or you just go off the whim? Could you walk us through that process?
Yeah, so of course, like anybody else, when you're interested in doing cosplay of any character from your favorite show, you want to see who else has done the same cosplay. How did they do their cosplays? How can I better, or like we said, differentiate ourselves from that person and their cosplay? So it all starts with doing your research, and then also knowing, okay, I see what everybody else is doing, but how can I make it my own? And then that's the second part. Doing your research, then figuring out how you can make it your own. It can be just the smallest detail that can set yourself apart from a lot of other wonderful cosplayers that are out there. Sometimes people take the sexy side of the cosplay. Sometimes people take the demure,
Mm-hmm.
the soft side, and sometimes people will create their own version of the character in a real life sense. Like if this character was a real person,
Mm.
what kind of daily outfit would they wear?
Gotcha. Understood. Do you plan to do more conventions?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, y'all, but if y'all have never been to an anime convention, regardless if you are a fan or not, I highly suggest that you go.
Hmm.
You will find so many different vendors, people, influencers who will actually provide you with something that you might not even know that you needed to see.
Hmm. That makes sense.
And it can even be it's just an eye opener. It's an experience. It's like being in a whole different world within your own city.
Okay. Okay. So, to my understanding, cosplaying is a new career for you, a new career path, right?
It's definitely a new career path. It's definitely a journey.
Okay. Do you have any goals or aspirations in cosplaying?
Well, I do have goals. I do have dreams. I really would like to see the anime community within my own city
Mm-hmm.
thrive and elevate to different levels that I have seen in places like Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
and Mississippi. They're up and coming as well with their anime community. Like the South is starting to delve more into the nostalgic comic book anime community, which is
Mm-hmm.
great because it is such a untapped market.
Yeah. What other goals and aspirations that you have in your independent field? Now that you dabbled in cosplay, is there any other things that you want to dabble in or
Well,
have already dabbled in?
well, since I know cosplaying is also a form of modeling as well, because
Hmm.
we also take professional pictures to give you visuals, not just to give you fun pictures and, relatable videos and content, but modeling is also a part of cosplay. So it's helped me to also get into modeling in a sense because I do like to put on clothes. I would love to be a wedding dress model. I'm cute. I'm adorable. I'm short. The petite dresses, I can rock those for you.
Okay, okay. She out there. Pay attention to all you fashion designers out there. She can rock your clothes. I also know that you have a secret talent that you don't really market like that. Um, you're a voice actor, believe it or not. So let's talk about a project that you worked on for me and continue to work on these past few years. So
My-
so Ebony here is the voice actor of a character that I created named Rashida Foley, aka Hodori. And she's been doing all her lines. She actually made commercials for me. So let's tell the people about your experience and how that came to be.
Man, when I really think about how you came to me with the proposition to get on board with creating the world of Micro Wars, bringing these characters to life, giving them a voice.
Hmm.
I am just so honored and privileged to still be working with you and still creating and manifesting and growing our micro world, our whole entire world. Like
Hmm.
just from you giving me the opportunity to be a voice, to be the
Hmm.
main character's voice.
Hmm.
It was intimidating. It was nerve-wracking because it was my first time ever using my voice
Hmm.
and having a creative space to actually just be myself and
Yeah.
you and dive deep into my creative space, which is something that I was not really allowed to do as a kid. at all. So thanks to Micro Wars and this voice acting opportunity, it has allowed me to grow creatively and elevate my creativity
Okay.
in many different ways and shapes and forms.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm glad I'm humbled to hear that, but it's also nice to hear the other side because when you were working on it, you sounded so excited, still is excited, and now I get to hear that passion behind it all. I was like, wow, she's really into this, and I don't think you understand how you sound when I did your original recordings, and then you did not only one commercial, you did a second commercial. So you did two commercials for me, and I've sold a lot of books because of it. Believe it or not, a friend of mine who was in the hospital way back, he was an inspiration behind me selling books, but I also used the commercial that you made, and I used that to sell about 5,000 books.
Wow.
So thank you. Thank you. And that went from making not only one book to 7 books. And I also gave away scholarships as well because of it. So we did some good. We did a lot of good with that. So thank you. I'm here to tell you thank you for all that you've done.
No, at the end of the day, I'm always gonna say thank you. Thank you for just creating this space, this platform, this world.
Yeah.
Like, just thank you.
It's a team effort. It really is. I mean, I may be making steps. Some people may not see it behind the scenes. It's okay. But just know we all working out here. Um, I was gonna say, do you have any goals with voice acting now that you got your foot in the water? You did your commercials, you did some recordings here and there. What are your goals as a voice actor?
All right, let me just keep it real with you. I've been trying to be a Disney voice actor all my life. I'm sorry. I have been wanting to be a Disney voice actor since I knew what Disney was.
Uh-huh.
Watching all of the videos since I was a child, like any Disney movie, any popular Disney movie you give me,
Mm-hmm.
I know every line. I know the tones. I know the situations. I know how I'm supposed to elevate, tone it down,
Mm-hmm.
and all of it. So I feel like I've been trying to prepare myself for voice
Mm-hmm.
acting since I was a child.
So how long? It's been a child. So how long? Well, when did you actually start voice acting? Let's just say that. Where did that begin?
You say when I started because if I had to actually put a pin on it, it was when you actually asked me to come on board with Micro Wars.
So that was your first experience?
That was
Wow.
my first experience.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yes, that was my first experience.
Oh, man, you did a wonderful job. It sounded like you've been doing that for a long time. Like, have you listened to the commercial?
And that's to this day, I'm like, yo, that's me. And when I share it to people, they're like, Ebony, that's not you. I'm
You,
like, that's me.
you know,
That is me.
I play it at the end of each interview that I do. It's at the end of the interview, and I play it every time.
What?
Yeah, so go back and listen to the other ones, and you can hear it at the very end. You sound amazing, like you've been doing this for years. Yeah. So now that you've been in this is a little bit more interesting to me that you've been voice acting for all this time. So as an independent, which you are, what have been some of the biggest challenges you faced in your independent career?
Some of the biggest challenges. Honestly, some of the biggest challenges that I would have to face is continuing to grow my skills as a voice actor because in order to be a voice actor,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have actual acting skills.
Mm-hmm.
So that was even though okay, let me pause. Growing up as a child, I was heavily into theater.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could say with me having that background of doing plays, being behind the scenes, working back of the house,
Mm-hmm.
and also being on stage with lines and such, it I kind of already had an introduction into acting. I never actually got a chance to further develop my skills because, I'm a kid,
Yeah.
parents, life happens.
Yeah.
But I never lost a passion for theater or any type of monologues and things like that.
Mm.
So I've continued to just practice monologues, practice memorizing scripts, lines from my favorite movies, my favorite actors like Viola Davis, Angela Bassett, um, who else? Oh my God, a lot of powerful Black women in the acting world. They have always been my influence because they are powerhouse women. Like women of
Mm.
color have always been at the forefront of my voice acting career. They have set the tone, set the standard for what I want to bring as a voice actor. I want to have that compelling, commanding, sweet, soft, comforting, motherly. I want to be able to touch on all of those genres as a woman.
Mm. So, is it safe to say that Creed Summers is your role model in this aspect?
And that's another woman right there. Creed freaking Summers. If that woman had been a part of my life since the Rugrats, and probably before I even knew she was Susie Carmichael from the Rugrats, she has probably been in stuff way later than that.
Mm.
But Cree Summers is definitely one of my favorite voice actors. Oh my gosh, and we cannot leave out Mr. Keith.
Yeah.
Whoa! Mr. Keith, Mr. Keith.
So who's your favorite voice actor of all time?
Can't say I got a favorite. I can't.
Okay, tell you what. Do you have a top five?
I got a top three. I really only have a top two right now. And
Okay.
it is Chris Summers and Keith Davis. Like
Okay.
both of them.
Okay. Oh, that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. Is there, but I say Disney. Okay.
Disney?
Disney is your go-to. All right. So is there anyone locally that you would like to do voice acting for?
Locally. So when you say locally, like
Like local businesses or local studios that you would like to work for and do voice acting for?
I'm open to anybody who is willing to give me an opportunity.
Okay. Okay.
That is all I can say. Like just allow me the opportunity. And if I fit what they're looking for, great. If I don't, tell me what I need to work on so that way my next opportunity
Yeah.
will give me the okay.
All right. All right. Could you share a particular moment in your independent voice acting career that you're proud of?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Wolfie. I'm so proud of the commercial that we created together.
Really? Really?
Seriously. To this day, like I keep telling you, every time when I hear the commercial, I'm just like, I cannot believe we did that. Like we did that. We
Yeah.
really did that.
Yeah, we did. So, how many times you played it?
Too many times, and I shared it with way too many people. Like when I first let my mom hear it, she was like, "Why you lying? That's not you." I'm like, "Mom, I literally had to let her hear
Yeah.
the original audio, and then let her hear the second edited one." She was like, "Oh,
Because I use both. I use both. I uh for any occasion. But I like the modified version. I don't know why. I just like it.
it sounds crisp. It sounds very crisp. It
Yeah.
sounds very what's the word I want to use? Commercial. That's
Yeah.
the word I want to use.
Yeah, it's
Commercial.
definitely commercialized. Me and my team worked on it. You know, we didn't the funny part is we didn't have to change your voice at all as much. We just put a filter here and there, but for the most part, you were just solid through and through. You read your lines. You put some aspects to it to make it feel
Natural.
natural and like you've done this before. You definitely done this. You remember those old Crunchyroll commercials that when they I put some animes up, it sounds just like that. if you go back and pay attention to it, it sounds exactly like that. Like you've been watching Crunchyroll for a long time, and you know every commercial that hops up. So that's how it sounds. You did a damn good job. So I'm really
Like you don't know, like I remember. I remember I told you how I was practicing my voice acting via
uh
TikTok too.
uh-huh.
Yeah, thanks to TikTok and just practicing doing voiceovers and duets it's another way of teaching myself, learning,
Hmm.
growing, and practicing. So, to everybody who is listening, please use TikTok to the fullest extent. Like, there's just so many ways that you can learn the things that you're interested in if you're trying to grow in any way, shape, or form. I won't say there's of course there's always the bad on TikTok, but the good side of TikTok,
Hmm.
when you're actually focused on a goal and are looking for like-minded people, individuals,
Hmm.
utilize TikTok.
Okay. Okay. So is that how you prepare for like any not cosplay and voice acting? Is that how you put yourself out through and through? TikTok?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. TikTok is the main platform.
Do you plan on doing anything voice over work, like personal voice over work for yourself?
I do. I need a little bit of help because
Hmm.
I want to be able to, like, I want to voice over some of my favorite Disney movies and just to see how my voice would actually sound as that character. Like,
Mm.
one of my favorite Disney movies. No intent. No disrespect to the first Lion King movie, but the second one is was way better. And when I say I know that movie line for line like the back of my head, if there was a way for me just to be able to use to see the video with no sound and add my own audio into it and practice, that would make my day. Like these are some of the things that you will see on TikTok. Like people are voicing over some of your favorite movies, favorite shows, but I don't know how I can get to that point, so I'm working on it.
That makes sense. Wow, you really dedicated. You're really dedicated to it. Do you often practice like watching movies and try to voice over it at home?
Oh, all the time. All the time. All the time.
She said all the time. So tell you what, we're gonna cut into a commercial break.
Hey you guys, Rashida here. You don't know me, but I want to get to know you. Would you like to know my story? See how I go through trial and error to become a great Hadori, alongside Sneakers McGee and Squeezy in the world of micro wars. Fight the good fight. See different perspectives on what it's really like when teenagers get access to superpowers. And no story is complete without the evil Mr. Slim trying to take over our cities. Would you like to join us on our journey? If so, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe to us on Facebook and Instagram, Micro Wars. And if you want to cop some fresh merch or even the latest comic, make sure you visit www.mwsstudios.com. And don't forget about our webtoon series as well. We can't wait to meet you guys on the inside. Catch you later.
Okay, so now that you've been in the voice acting industry for some time now and cosplay industry, uh, how do you see it evolving, especially for independent uh creators or cosplayer? I don't know what the word to use. I just say creators because that's what you guys do. You create costumes or create magnificent voiceovers, and it's amazing. So we'll just keep it to creators.
Hmm. Let me see. Hold on, repeat the question again.
So how do you see the voice acting slash cosplaying industry evolving for independent creators?
Well, I definitely can say since anime culture is now becoming more popularized. There have
Mm,
been more opportunities for content creators and cosplayers to actually monetize their creations.
hmm.
There's also more ways we're actually being allowed, not allowed, but we're able to be more involved within the community with doing local events. I noticed there's a community here in Memphis called what's the name? I cannot think of it, but the organization is geared towards healing the hood. That's called Heal the Hood Foundation in that along those lines. But it's they have actually contacted cosplayers who do like Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, like a lot of the Marvel, because it is very popular. It's more of the comic book scene. And that's fine. We love our comics. Like, let's be real. And they have been allowed more opportunities to be more involved with the community, um, being able to be a part of different local business events. And so there's definitely a uptick in the desire to allow cosplayers and content creators to work with brands and businesses now, because they also know that we are a market for them to better their businesses as well.
That is true. That is true. You guys are growing strong. I saw it myself, and that's why I asked you, like, hey, if I had someone to really bring this character to life and manifest my ideas into something tangible, that'll be great.
Mhm.
Not only that we created 7 issues, we also did activity books. We have done multiple commercials, and not only that, guidebooks to help people create comics. So
Yep.
we done a lot, created scholarships, all types of stuff that we've done so far. And that's just on a small business side. I can only imagine what it's going to be like when other cosplayers get inside these big corporations and start doing things for real.
hmm
So my,
And and like and like one of my biggest influences is freaking Meg the Stallion. Meg the Stallion was the first Black rapper ever at a Crunchyroll award show. Come on.
for real?
Yes.
You know what's crazy? I expected no disrespect to Megan Thee Stallion, but out of all these female rappers, I expected Nicki Minaj to be up there because she's a character. Like, think
He is definitely a character.
she a character, so I expected her. But I'm shout out to Megan Thee Stallion for doing her thing, and she's actually involving cosplayer on a whole nother level, and it's nice to
Mhm.
see. Very nice to see.
It's very nice to see. And I feel like now, since she has helped to make anime, the cosplay culture more acceptable, more celebrities and athletes are actually showcasing their love and appreciation of anime just in any time that they're able to. Like Michael B. Jordan, he's been a huge advocate of anime as well. And he's even shown it in Creed 3, where there were certain scenes, the fight scenes were from Dragon Ball, and we all know these. We was like, yo, this is Vegeta and Goku all over again with side-by-side comparisons of the fight.
Yeah, you weren't lying about that. I mean, it, so let's unpack that a little bit. You know, people are talking about being inspired by anime and things like that. So when did you actually started watching anime?
I started watching anime probably well, you know what? Actually, I don't know how, I don't want to step on toes, but Pokemon was my first introduction. Now I know Pokemon might not be anime, but it's still anime culture. It is still one of their main, you know,
Pokemon,
platforms. It's one of their
Pokemon,
main.
Pokemon is anime. So whoever's telling you that it's not, it is.
Okay, so then let me correct myself. Pokemon was actually the first anime I had ever watched when it was first introduced on Channel 34 on Cartoon Network. I'm showing my age. But yes, Pokemon was definitely my first anime. And then Toonami came in the later 1990s and brought us Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z,
Mm,
mainstream,
mm,
Cowboy Bebop, Rurouni Kenshin, Big O, like a lot of the classics
mm,
before anime was easily accessible
mm.
over here.
So what is your favorite anime? Your number?
Inuyasha.
Damn, wait a minute.
You ain't gotta ask. Inuyasha.
I didn't even get the whole question now.
Hey, that
Okay.
lets you know. That lets you know that's my go-to. That's my comfort.
Mm,
When when I
that's her.
was when I was extremely sick last year and
Hmm.
stuck in my room and in my bed isolated,
Hmm.
and Inuyasha was on a marathon, baby, I was comfortable.
Okay. Okay. She said I was comfortable.
I was
Um,
comfortable.
all right. So now that you've been doing this for some time, and I'm sure you have some insight and some personal struggles you've been going through. So what is like being a voice actor slash cosplayer and dealing with real life? How how is that for you?
Well, it's all for me. It's all about just trying to find that balance
Hmm.
of while cosplaying and content creation can take up a lot of my time. I have to make sure that I'm able to be aware of the things that are going on in my personal life, from babysitting my niece, making
Hmm.
sure I check in on my friends, making sure my mom's okay because her health is declining, and trying to make sure I always check in with myself, make sure my mental is all right.
Hmm.
So it's always about just trying to keep and finding balance.
Okay. You mentioned that your mother's health is declining. How is that affecting you now?
If it does take a toll on my creativity, it does,
Hmm.
because I'm not able to focus a lot on my creative side because I'm being a caregiver
Hmm.
now. But my mom is still always like my biggest supporter, regardless of what I do. She's always like, "Don't don't let my stuff stop you from what you doing. Even if I'm dead and gone, you still gonna be doing what you do." And I'm like, "True, but
She,
gotta make sure my mom is straight."
I understand that, and she's not wrong. All parents who do have done their job well will always want the best for their children, and I do understand that. And I understand that you've done a lot of things for your mother between going back and forth to the hospital, working multiple jobs just to, keep things afloat. I understand that it can be stressful, and sometimes you may not want to do anything creative.
Mm-hmm.
But the
It
fact
can.
that you do is impressive to me.
I can't say when I do have days and I don't really feel like creating content or cosplaying. Those are the days when I actually have to make myself do my content and my cosplays because they bring me joy. They
Yeah,
take my mind off of what's going on in my real personal life.
yeah,
And I know some people will probably like, well, you're just running away from your problems and your situations. But I don't call it running away. I just call it taking a pause.
yeah. It is a pause because life can be a lot. And I actually understand you a lot more because I understand what you're going through. It wasn't my mother who was in that specific state that your mother's in. My grandmother was. So she was bedridden since I can remember and trying to take care of her and do those things between balancing school, work, and all those other things, it can take its toll. And I completely understand what you're feeling because I've been there. And my grandmother's passed now. She always told me to take care of myself. She always told me trouble is easy to get into and hard to get out of.
Mm-hmm.
But she always told me if you're gonna do something, do it to the best of your ability and have fun. And that's what I'm doing now. So if your mama tell you to do these things, you do it. You do it to the best of your abilities because like she said, she's gonna be dead and gone, and you're still gonna do what you're gonna do regardless. So do it to your heart's content.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm pushing hard now.
Yeah, you gotta push hard. Is there any fantasy outside of Disney? I think Disney's the only one on your mind, but is there any fantasy companies that you want to work for or independent companies that you want to work for?
I would love to work for Square Enix. I would even love to work for Nickelodeon.
Okay.
It would have been great to have been able to work with Cartoon Network.
Mm.
RIP.
Well, well, Cartoon Network is not dead. It's still around. It's just their website is down. Their old website is down. Cartoon Network is still putting out stuff. So whoever thinks that that's
No, I'm talking about the old Cartoon Network.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, that makes more sense. The old Cartoon Network is gone. That's okay. I
Yeah.
think all of us wanted to be a part of that era of cartoons from Dexter's Laboratory all the way up to
But
what?
mm,
I think I
like
stopped watching around the Ben 10 era.
I think I stopped watching around the Foster's House of Imaginary Friends, something like
Yeah,
that.
that was around the Ben 10 era. It came
Yeah.
Ben 10, then Foster's, and I think that was it. I can't remember. Maybe Adventure Time, maybe somewhere in there where it just changed.
Yeah, when Adventure Time came, I stopped watching. I
Yeah,
stopped watching.
same. I stopped as well. So I understand. Um, yeah, you want to work for those companies now. It's a little different. It's different. They're not producing the same quality of work. It's the skill, that heart that
The,
captures everything. It's not there
the
anymore.
hand, yeah, and like hand drawn animation.
Well, they're still doing hand drawing. Is just not as good
It's
as it is before.
okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They are still doing hand drawn, but I also know that a lot of people do go to more digital
Yeah, that
routes
is
to
to
create
produce.
characters now.
That makes sense. Are there any projects that you would like to work on with your voice?
I would love to actually voice, even if it's just saying, not even having to say a word, or if I have to make a noise or a sound. I would love to be on the next Kingdom Hearts game. I would love to be a part of that big project. Oh my goodness. Kingdom Hearts has been my favorite game franchise since forever.
Hmm. Uh, so it's plenty. That's a lot of games. That's a long franchise.
Hmm.
And they're
Yes,
still
it
they're
is.
still making content. Would you like to work for other gaming companies as well?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I actually need to start doing my research. Like, as I know that I say I'm a gamer, but I don't always have time to do my research on the different studios and things like that. But I know since I've been a fan of Kingdom Hearts all my life, I knew Square Enix is they don't change studios.
Mm.
They don't change makers.
No.
So I've always just known of Square Enix, but I also know there are others as well.
Okay.
And I just need to do my research and see who has made certain games. Like,
Mm.
let's see, what games do I have? Like, I have Tekken, I have Mario. Like, my games range from PS5 to Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So even to work with Nintendo would be great too.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Nintendo has a plethora of games.
Yeah, you'll never honestly, your career will start with any one of those companies, to be honest with you. You'll never run out. You'll never run out of content or things to do.
Yeah, like I just gotta get my foot through the door, and thankfully, thanks to the ever growing internet,
Yeah.
there are other ways for me to actually make income,
Mm.
try out,
Mm.
do send in my voice recordings and
Mm.
see if I can make money or monetize from different projects.
Okay.
So that's gonna be happening too. I'm gonna dive into that and really see how well my voice acting skills are. And if there's always room for improvement, but I want to see how I par with the world.
Makes sense. It's always good to get that second opinion. So I'm gonna get you out of here on this one. What advice would you give to someone looking to get into cosplay or voice acting?
Just do it. Cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an idea, if you have a favorite character who you've loved all your life, go buy the outfit. Go on Amazon, buy that outfit, buy that cosplay.
Mm.
I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on this
You
podcast,
can
but
say whatever you want.
put that shit on. Put that shit on. Because ain't nobody gonna judge you worse than you will judge yourself. And if you feel confident in what you got on, wear that shit.
Mm.
Now, as far as voice acting is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta do your research.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do a little bit of networking.
Okay.
You have to actually start to practice and utilize your voice more, getting used to hearing your own voice.
Mm.
That's the first step, is getting used to your own voice and then practicing saying lines from your favorite movies or TV shows. And just continue to practice, and also check out your local theaters. They might even have an opportunity for you to do to be the commentary or the commentator for a play or anything. And I have seen that there are openings and job positions like that. So I would just say, just continue to do your research, practice, and try to get your voice out there in many ways, shapes, and forms as you can. Even doing live videos on TikTok and all of those things can definitely help you start to get used to using your voice, owning your voice, and being comfortable with your voice and yourself.
Good solid advice. Good solid advice. Are there any cons that you recommend that new cosplayers to get into?
There was a con, I would say, please wash your cosplay. If you are wearing a cosplay for a long period of time and you know, hey, you've been sweating, you cannot put your cosplay back on. Please wash it. Do not disrespect us at these conventions. Put deodorant on underneath that cosplay. Thank you. That is the public service announcement for the day.
Okay. Okay. What cons do you recommend new cosplayers get into or start from?
I would start with, of course, your local conventions. It's always a nice way to get your foot in the door so that you can kind of get an idea of what to expect. But if you're really wanting to venture out, MomoCon, these are some of the conventions that I have yet to get to, but I'm going to get there. MomoCon, DreamCon, DragonCon, Comic Con, and what's the other one? And of course, if you're in Memphis, come to ABC, Anime Blues Con.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So tell the people where they can find you at.
So you guys can find me on TikTok. I recently just changed my name. I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram as short, SHORT _ the letter E, the underscore cosplay. Also, short E cosplay.
Okay. Well, that is our show. We love y'all. Come back next time.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Stephen, for having me on, and I can't wait for another interview.
You're welcome.